Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Drinks with a Dog. We're here today again, just talking about some football, some Georgia football. Once again, excited to talk about this week's game. The bye week is gone. We got to sit out that time and just watch some football. It was the worst week ever. I love when we get back to playing games. It's really, it's not as fun with bye weeks. I know it's not as good for health, and it's good for us to get re-energized and get focused for big games. But, man, I love the football season, and bye weeks are really rough for us. I'm here with the professor, John Akaki.
Good evening.
So we will start out like we always do, talking about tonight. Tonight is, we are not sponsored by, but supplied by Buffalo Trace. You may have heard it before. It's not a very, very popular brand. That's me being facetious.
We're building a reputation.
That's right. So tonight we will be drinking Buffalo Trace here in our old fashion. So
My gosh.
Enjoy, get yourself one, sit back, and let's have some good dog talk.
Yeah.
That's
Hope you've
good.
had a good off week, and now it's energy week and focus and passion and fire week. To borrow what theme this season is predicated on. Matt does a great job, and it's good that we can do this, and I believe we'll have thrown out some ideas and some opinions, and you can kind of remark to it later on, but we're just going to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, so please, if like this is nothing like super special, nothing really trying to get famous over. I just think it's fun for us to talk about football, talk about Georgia stuff, and two guys live in the same city want to enjoy some good conversation, and it actually builds off the conversation that you guys are having out there. So share your thoughts, share what you have going on out there on the Dog Pound page. I send out probably every day some kind of question, some kind of conversation starter, because I really want to hear your opinions. I want to hear what you guys are thinking about and what your viewpoints are, because we're all different. And until the game starts, and until they kick it off and we get into situations, really don't know what's going to happen. So these conversations are really fun. It keeps us, some of us through our work weeks, keeps us getting through the work week so we can get to the weekend. And so this is kind of what it's about. So John, let's share with me the history we have here. You talked about a little bit before we started. How do you feel like this game, just outside players, outside of all this stuff, what does this historically look like for us?
It seems like things go in historical cycles. And Bill Krug and I hadn't talked recently, but he put up something about the 76 team and what happened in Athens when they beat the Bear. And to give you a little history, that was a 21-0 win over the Bear in Athens. That dog team went on to play Pittsburgh in the national championship, lost to Pittsburgh. But that night in Athens was a historic party night. It basically shut down every street in the area, and the people went wild because they crushed Alabama that night. I told Matt, and I posted the word atonement, which is usually a sacrifice for what has happened in the past. And can we say our dogs are going to collect all the things that are due us? I'm hoping that takes place. I think this team is a new team. The past is the past. There is a lot of history that says, okay, are we really the underdog, or is Alabama the underdog? And they got to come to our house. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised. I'm going to go out on a little wing here and say that the dogs definitely prevail. But I think it's time. I think it's time to collect all what is due us. And that's how I see the game developing.
That's good. So, sorry. So for me, I have some Alabama friends, all right? And some of them are – there's three kinds of Alabama fans, right? And this is probably the most case for all real true college football, areas in the South. You have your pessimistic fan who's always doomsday, who never thinks,
Right.
You're going to win. But they do that so that when they do win –
They insulate themselves.
Yeah, when you do win, it feels great. And I can
Right.
probably say I somewhat maybe fall into some of that category.
Insulating yourself's not a bad thing, right?
Then there's
Fear of the unknown.
Then there's the very realistic fan who really can look at – that's the majority of our fan base. Realistic.
Right.
They know where you're at. They kind of see what's on the field. They can dictate and kind of know, hey, we're probably going to be this many wins this year. Or we're going to, whatever it may be. Then we have those extremists, right?
A charismatic type person.
Yes. And so I got a few friends like that who are Alabama fans. And the extremists love the whole 9-1 Georgia, the last 10 games in Georgia. They really are pushing that because they really
Right.
need. I think they really need
They think
that
karma.
mental game.
Right.
They think the mental game is how they can kill us. I mean, if we're being real, I mean, historically, over the last 10 times we played them, which once again we can say they've all been for big games. They've been for championships. We won one big one, which is great. Probably been a little screwed on a couple of them, probably maybe 2 or 3 that we probably should have won.
Right.
But still, overall, like these have been really close, tough games.
These current players are 4 to 5 years removed from what happened to Georgia in, let's say, the SEC championship before we won the national championship. And even going back, these guys were in grammar school. So I don't think it's going to affect our current dogs. I think it affects more the fans than it does the players, quite frankly.
Do you think they're more reflecting on last year's game versus the history of it? I think the fans look on the history. I think these teams may be looking back on last year's game.
You know,
as
when we
motivation.
schemed that game up and Mill Road took us to task for 3 long runs and they got up 21-28 or we're 27-0, we still had the guts to come back and take the lead. So Georgia is for real, and you can't just dice up Georgia and beat them like that. That's not going to happen. I don't see that happening tomorrow. I believe the secondary learned a lesson. I believe we're not going to see that kind of stuff. But if you remember when we went to Texas, and I look at this game just like when we went to Austin, and we came in there and we didn't give Ewers any time. We attacked from the get-go. I see this game like that. Unlike Tennessee, where we played zone soft, and they carved us up until we figured out we can't continue this. I don't think we're going to take that chance with Ty Simpson and with Ryan Williams. I don't think we're going to give them the chance with Bernard. We're going to go get them right now. No, I would be very surprised if we play zone.
So I was thinking about that you just said about Texas game last year, and I'm wondering almost on the other side of the coin, are we like Texas last year? It's going to be this big production. They've already talked about all the extra things they're going to do into the third quarter to the fourth quarter. You know, all the fireworks, all this big, huge production. You know, and Kirk talked about the end of game of Texas. Like they were there for the movies. They were there for the movie stars, and they were there for all the show. We shouldn't play. I hope we're not going to be the same as they were coming in. They're coming to our house. Are we really ready to play? Are we there for the? We have the celebrities, and we have all the people showing up to be there.
We hold the cards, and I think the card is Kirby Smart. He's unlike Steve Sarkisian, and I don't think. You know, we beat Texas twice. I don't think we're going to be that kind of team like Sark has. And that's Austin is a different kind of town than Athens, and Austin's a big time town if you want to know the truth. Mm-hmm. I think Kirby keeps him humble. I think he's going to keep him on the edge. He's going to tell him that you lost last year because you weren't prepared to begin with. You didn't get after it from the get go. And we got beat on the edges. And I think Quintavious, number 33, is that Johnson?
Yes.
I think he only got beat inside one time in the last game against Tennessee. I think we're going to see a really ferocious defense tomorrow or Saturday.
And I think that to me is one of the bigger takes on the game. And why we were so skeptical earlier about the Tennessee game is because they came out, on fire.
Right. And
a lot of us were having flashbacks to the Alabama game last year. But once again, I will echo, and I'm totally copywriting this from stealing a copyright from Mr. Kevin Whitehead. This team, like other past teams, is resilient. They were not going to quit. You're going to have to spend all 4 quarters to beat them. If you do beat them, you're going to earn it all 4 quarters. And that's one thing that Tennessee couldn't do. They were hot in the first. They cooled off second and third. And they got some steam again in the fourth quarter. But you have to have all 4 to beat this team mentally and stuff. And just get on the road to win too. So them coming to Athens, like you said, I think it's going to be a huge deal.
I think it's going to be bully ball, in all honesty. I think we're going to see DeBoer with Miller coming back as the running back, and I think they're going to challenge the Alabama offensive line to play bully ball on us. They're big. They're huge. My friend Brooks Austin says they're overweight. Alabama is. They're out of shape or overweight or just overweight. They don't move well. But I think they're going to try to put that weight on us and see how we respond. And they're going to try to run the ball, I believe, on us. and we stop the run, I think it's going to be a poor day for Alabama if we can stop their run.
I agree. Man, I think if we keep them under 325 yards, I think we win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, people say, well, that's 225 yards, 200 yards passing. I mean, but a lot of things are circumstantial, right? I could say that, and then they can win the game because we had 3 turnovers. You just never know, right? There's a lot of circumstances, which is why I love watching the game, because what do they do and how they respond in those circumstances is what makes Georgia elite. When they get down, they pick themselves up. Just I think that's the thing I'm curious about. How are they actually going to take in all that? They know the pressure's on them. Like I said, we talked about earlier, our shows a couple weeks back, was I didn't think we really know who this team is until after this game. That's my opinion.
I would agree. Because you got to play some hard opponents.
Yes.
Just one, but the one in Tennessee was a special one. Thank God we came home with a win on that one. But you're right. We need another win against a quality opponent to know who we are.
So, just go look at both sides of it. Is this whichever team wins, who would it be a bigger win for? Would it be a bigger win for Alabama for them saying, okay, the first game was a fluke. They actually are getting better. They are progressing. That was just a facade. Or actually Florida State's maybe really good. Or is it Georgia needs to get over this hump, this mental hump? Because some of us have said, I would say some of us have said out there that this monkey on our back in Alabama is no longer there. It is still there. I don't care what you say. Last 2 games, that SEC championship game, which kept us from the playoffs, that's a monkey on our back. And then the next year, we once again lose again in the first quarter against them, for being honest. So there's still that Alabama monkey on our back. Yes, they're coming to Atlanta. Coming to Athens for the first time in God knows how long. How's that really?
To answer your question about who is the bigger game for, I'm sitting here listening and I'm trying to think about it a little bit before I give a quality answer. And I think it's equally as important to both teams. I mean, I don't think it to lose is not the end of the season for Georgia. Certainly not. I mean, we got a lot of games. I mean, you can get in the playoffs with at least 2 losses, if not 3, if you win your SEC championship. But for Alabama, it's a road game, and it would mean more to them because they're on the road and they've already got a loss. So yeah, it would be a relief to them, but it might bring us up to an exalted spot in the fact that our confidence would exude and explode. That now we're thinking we could run the table now. Yeah. So it's equally important to both teams.
So I'm going to start with offense first, because I think defense is the key for me. I think the reason why the Tennessee game was the way it was because our defense just didn't have a great game, which I don't think will be I think that's a flash in the pan versus what they really are. So I just talk to guys in offense. So talk about offense first.
Our offense?
Yeah, our offense first. So who has a better wide receiver group?
They have 2. I don't know who their tight ends are. I don't know anybody else besides Bernard, and I learned Bernard this week. Other than that, I only knew Ryan Williams. Personally, we know our players better than we know theirs.
Yeah.
Just on paper, because we see them and watch them all the time. But I still think we have a better depth at wide receiver than they do. We have better tight ends, I believe, also. So I think the edge wide receiver-wise goes to Georgia.
Okay, so let's look at just comparison of 2. I think you're right. I think dead on. In the whole, I think they're top 2 heavy. They are these 2 guys with their main weapons. Right. They even use Bernard in a rushing sense as well.
That's number 5 for Alabama, by the way. When you watch them Saturday.
And so I think overall as a group we are better. But if we put our best 2 against their best 2, which is Ryan Williams, who's still kind of coming off some injury, I think is still a phenomenal player, not disputing that. And then Bernard, who's been there for a while, who has grown in the system and gotten better for sure, versus, let's say, Young and Branch for us. Who do you think has, between their 2 and our 2, which couple has the most yards in the Saturday?
Well, knowing our defense, I think Alabama's receiver will have more yards. Mm-hmm. I think we'll run the ball better. I think our running backs are going to be superlative. I think you're going to find that they're going to have some big days against Alabama's defense. That's how I see it. I think just because the Alabama receivers may have more yards doesn't mean they've played better or won or outshined our receivers. It's just how we disperse the ball.
I like that. That's good. That's a very good point. So to the running backs, let's call it run game. I think by far we have a better running game.
Absolutely.
I think we have.
They're getting back Miller for the first game. He's going to be not in tip-top shape. He probably won't be able to take all the snaps. It'll be by committee, but he'll play.
Yeah, which is fine. But I don't know how good really is he. I don't remember. He's not Derrick Henry.
Well,
Yes,
exactly.
So, I mean, if we put him compared to, they think that he's the saving grace of their offense. I just don't, and it could be. I just don't know. But like
not in this
our
game.
three guys, do you think at some point in time, if we get one guy who has a hot hand, who's just burning them, do they change personnel and put more runnings on? Because they changed. I mean, I think most ones I had this year was like 12 rushes for a running back in one game. But usually it's divided up between someone has 12 and someone will have 10, someone has 7, which is good. Keeps people fresh and all that jazz. And then they get McCray in the red zone, and they're going to use him for pounding in, which is fine too. You're rolling great. But I guess my mindset is like, if we have a hot hand, let's just say Frazier, he just touches the ball. Every time he touches the ball, it's 8 yards. Do they keep feeding him, or do they continue this by committee standard? What do you think?
I think they'll spread the wealth.
Okay.
I think you also have 2 or 3 different types of running backs, so every play is designed differently for different reasons, in different gaps or different ways that it should be run, and therefore the skill sets of different backs fits that play that's being called better. So that's why you probably see a little bit by committee, even with Georgia, sharing the wealth, because each play is not the same.
And they're different
It's run
backs. They're
different.
very unique too. It's
Right.
great. I mean, really, Phillips. If we get him on the outside, he can gain 10 yards in a flash. Right.
Right.
He's not going to be up the middle guy, which means he may surprise us one day. He may shoot the gut one day and surprise everybody because they think he's going outside and he takes the inside hole. Who knows? Frazier, I've yet to see a negative yard rush on Frazier. He gets in the backfield, he still will fall forward to the line of scrimmage. He may get 0 yards, but he is not getting negative yards. I appreciate that. But can he hold on to the ball? There's a problem last year. He's only fumbled one time this year, don't get me wrong. But the hits are going to be hard on Saturday. They're going to be super hard. They're coming after. They're going to be helmet first into those balls, into the balls on the head. That sounds kind of bad, head first into the balls. But you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Helmet first on those hands. Can they protect the ball when it comes to the running backs?
Well, time will tell. I mean, Tennessee was a hard hit game also. I mean,
Yeah.
we had good control ball security there, so I don't see a problem. I mean, everybody fumbles occasionally, and Frazier's fumbles, are usually in the open field because he gets a little loose with the ball, trying to even get more than he's already got. It's never really in the pile in the middle of the field. It's never on the first hit typically.
I think you said it. He's very jitterbuggish. Like
Right.
when he does that moving,
Right.
it moves that ball around a little bit too.
And he's probably learned his lesson. I think Kirby put his arm around him in that game. I guess that was Austin Peay when Humphreys fumbled also, and probably cajoled him and probably said, "Okay, dude, you know what you did there. Look at that. Remember, Kirby pointed up there. Look what you did. Look where the ball was. You're not taking care of the rock."
Yeah, that's good. If you want to play, take care of the rock.
Right.
So talking about the tight ends, like you said, right? So
We got great tight ends, and they're blocking their. I mean, they're really some people online grasp at anything they can get to cause a little bit of disdain, because whatever it is. But our tight ends are very good, by the way.
yeah,
Extremely.
there have been some missed blocks by some of the tight ends, which happens from time to time. But they have missed some blocks from time to time.
Your
in the red
toughest
zone.
blocks are in space.
Yes,
And
they do that very well. Like,
Right.
dude,
your
they do
toughest
that
blocks are going to be
incredibly.
in space.
Especially if you want to see Gunner run the ball, if you want to see him do what Florida State did against Alabama, which was run that quarterback, you're going to need a tight end that's blocking his space downfield. But we do now, Barber's out, or Babar, however you say his name. He's out.
Right.
He was coming in. He was a very good, even for a true freshman, blocking very well. So this is going to be a big step up for,
Rydell.
Rydell, and then
Rydell.
also Williams coming in as a freshman as well. these guys are going to step up and take that. I mean, yeah, we have Lucky, we have Delt. Those guys really need to hold that line when it comes to, like you said, they have more weight. They got more weight on the line. So let's see what
Alabama will put a lot of men on the line of scrimmage. I was watching some of their defense against Wisconsin, and it'll appear they'll have like 7 guys up on the line, but the linebackers will drop back.
So to prevent defense.
It looks like they're going to rush, and like they're trying to make your quarterback think that they're coming, or not be uncertain of what's going to happen next and where they're going to fall into coverage and all that. They're going to also try to stop our run. I think if they do that, then they're in the ball game.
So then, if that happens, let's say they play this, and I'm glad you said it because one of my friends was actually level-headed. He's borderline extremist, but he is level-headed, pretty fair, fair-minded guy. That was one of his things. He is not a fan of their defense style, and he says we play a lot of prevent kind of. We want to make an error, we intercept you, we prevent the pass game kind of mindset because the ball came from a West Coast style of a lot of passing yards. So I think you're right. If we can run the ball really well, run it down their throat, make them come up, and that opens up the game for him to pass the ball down the field. But we have to understand that there's maybe an opportunity there where they get to the quarterback and he may throw an interception. Gunner may throw an interception this game because they're bringing, like you said, bringing 7 back. And when you only have 3 receivers out there, everybody's double. So we're going to have to get real open, or we're going to have to run the rock really fast. I mean, I think that's not your point. We're going to have to run the ball early and fast to get them to start bringing more pressure to pass the ball on.
Alabama in the past has always tried to man up on us and bully up on our wide receivers in a man concept. And they did that against Wisconsin. They probably will do that against us, which makes it harder for Gunner to be able to pick a route quickly and get rid of the ball, because now he's got to see what's going to happen in the one-on-one matchups. That also helps the defensive line get closer to him because he's holding on to the ball a little bit longer. We're going to do the same thing to Ty Simpson, by the way. It's going to be a strategy game.
So with that mindset, do you think we're going to see more balls like we saw to the fourth down call the end zone? We're going to see more of that where the ball's out before he's even open.
Colby Young's going to have to trust him. Bell's going to see the ball a lot. I think there's going to be some balls that are up high for our receivers that they're going to be jump balls, 50-50 balls. You know,
it may be great I may be calling it here to see Noah Thompson make his, and he's been told. I mean, he's been having told, hey, I know my time's coming. There's going to be a game where I'm going to have eight catches for 120 yards.
Right.
Because eventually they're going to, like you said, we talk about, we have these 2 good receivers. We have Branch and Young. Well, they double up on him, then, boom.
The other thing is, you remember, we haven't had hardly any tip balls by Gunner, which was a problem we thought was going to be a problem, that his height or the lack thereof, but the RPOs and rolling him and moving him in the pocket has eliminated those tip balls. Alabama has historically been good with tipping balls.
Yeah.
So they coach that, and let's see how that develops in the game plan also.
So to your expertise.
Well, I don't know if I have to say that.
You've got plenty of, you're a professor. Offensive line. I think we know that Gaston's back, right?
Ours, okay.
But Green is going to be out still. They say he's probable or doubtful.
Green
he's not going to play.
He probably won't.
Which is fine. I think he needs to be out till he's fully healthy. Because even last year he played hurt, and you could see it. This year early on he's played a little hurt. I think his freshman year he played so great because he was healthy. If we think that he is a superstar in the making at tackle, let him get healthy. If it's 4 games, 5 games, let him rest, let him get healthy. If he's out there 80%, we're seeing 80% is not good.
He's really, because, and I surmise it's the back, he's not the player he was, and he's not even close. He's getting manhandled. He's getting pancaked. He's getting pushed back. He's getting knocked back. They're running right over him, and that may be the back is that in that bad of a place.
So what do we play down at tackle then? Who's going to play tackle?
Ugley and Uni
Okay.
would probably be the 2 answers to that. I don't know of another player that would come in there to be able to play that position.
And I've heard some analysts say that Gaston goes outside, and you put Glover there.
I'd be very surprised we have a freshman be able to have the mobility against their defensive ends to be able to compete out there. I would want an experienced guy that has had a lot of reps on the edge and somebody that hasn't been on the edge and not even played that position in a big game yet or a game.
Yeah.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we take a chance on that.
Okay.
Their offensive line is huge, but like I mentioned, my buddy Brooks Austin says he believes they're overweight and they don't move well, but their center, it might be the best center in college football, quote unquote. Somebody's saying that. And then Proctor has got a problem with his size and his mobility and his footwork. In over 3 years, he has not developed into the player that they thought he would be. So that's a big issue for us with Chris Cole and attacking Ty Simpson. And maybe we're not getting off point here, but Ty Simpson doesn't want to stay in the pocket. They're trying to get him to stay in the pocket longer, but his first line is to break out of the pocket and try to run, which may be because he doesn't know how to rate defenses that well, or the receivers are getting covered, or he's not certain of what he's doing with his third option in receiving and looking on look downs. But we're going to get after the quarterback. I think that's how we win this game. We get after their quarterback like we did Hayden Hooker when Tennessee came to our house. You rattle the quarterback, you own the game.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard, like I said, I think something that you said, I heard their left side, their blind side, is their weakest part of their line.
Right.
And I'm not sure if that's where Proctor is. I'm not 100% sure.
Proctor's a right.
Okay.
Right. No, he's the left tackle. He's the left tackle.
And he was injured earlier.
71 is the right tackle, and he's not that good either. He's their weakest link on their line, and then Proctor's probably the second weakest link.
Okay. These are big time NFL players.
Now Kennan, their best nose guard defensive lineman, is coming back in this game also. But again, can he play 80 snaps, 65, 70 snaps? That's asking a lot in a big game from a guy that just has come off the IR, injured reserve, you know? So we may not see Kennan every play, but he's supposed to be a stud. But I like what we have. I think, you put Micah Morris and Bobo on him. I mean, Micah Morris is a beast. Have you ever seen that man? You saw him on that overtime student body left when Frazier almost put it in the end zone and we won the game at Tennessee. The reminiscent game against the Rose Bowl in Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl when we had student body left, and Micah Morris went out there and it looks like a train and a half coming.
Yeah, I forget.
He's physical.
I forget what down, and he's actually, people won't realize game time smart he is, like football smart he is. If you watch the Tennessee game, I forget which drive it was, but it was a rush. We were at the goal line. We were running the ball in, and the running back got stopped. And you know what he did? He bear hugged the running back and just fell into the end zone with him, which is perfectly legal because you can push, but you can't pull. And he just grabs him and falls back at all his 320 pounds into the end zone. That's like common sense football smart. Like, that's backyard ball smart. That we just common sense kind of smart that we just don't think about in a game that he had in that moment because he knew he was in the way. The best thing to do is just bear hug my boy and bring him into the end zone. It was awesome. I love seeing it. If you go back and watch that game, you see that, you'll think it's pretty funny, but it's actually a really great play. So we're now going to get the defense. And I noticed you haven't taken a drink yet, so I'm preparing you for the defense now. Get yourself ready for it. You may need to take a sip. We're going to get to the defense part.
My gosh. Watered down by the way.
That's right. You're welcome. Well, that's on you, though. That's not on me. Defense.
Wins ball games, right?
Are we going to see the same defense that we saw against Tennessee on Saturday?
You know, we only had, I use the word only cautiously, we had these breakdowns. And we had two defensive backs that had never seen Tennessee in real life in a game. And, you know, that they were on islands out there. And how would you like to be that guy in his first game? 100, we've gone down that road. We know what happened. We talked about that last week.
But was it Earl Islands because it was their problem, or because the safeties broke their coverage and came in for a run stop and
my guess
screwed them?
is
From what I'm seeing is that the safeties left their position and left them on island, but they thought they had coverage in the back.
Ryan Williams was in the slot against Florida State like 85% of the snaps.
Okay,
They may have moved him out back to his normal position as wide receiver and felt like the slot position for him, but he's probably going to see both. When we go with a safety, two high safeties, they're going to double Ryan Williams. They're not going to let Ellis Robinson, isn't that his name, Ellis?
Ellis Robinson.
They're not going to let him handle Ryan Williams by himself. I mean, we've already learned that lesson. He still got growing pains. He didn't correct it in 2 weeks, by the way. He probably got better, more cognizant. He's probably more aware to look back into the route, into the quarterback. And, you know, a couple of those were just tackling errors, really.
We cannot dispute, though, and I'm an Ellis fan, okay? He hung around when most guys had left. If you remember another 5-star cornerback that we got, his name was Singleton. We got him on signing day. Was supposed to be this big guy. He didn't play his freshman year.
And he left.
He left to Arkansas. Barely playing at Arkansas. Or he's playing some, but whatever, right? Ellis, number 1 cornerback, and he has stayed. He has learned, and tell you, that guy has some speed.
Oh,
He was beat by Gazelle, whatever the guy's name was. The Gazelle was beating him, and he caught back up to him. Yes, he didn't play the ball very well, which, once again, is something you can learn over time. I mean, it's the third game of the season.
Right.
But I think they're going to be on a rotation. I think they're going to be on a 3-cornerback rotation between Everett, which I still don't think is fully healthy yet. I think this off week has helped him. If you watch some of the Tennessee game, he got beat on some short stuff. He made some good tackles, but he still got a little beat deep. He's not getting beat because he learned. You guys remember Everett used to be terrible when it came to deep pass balls coverage.
Yeah.
He would never look back to the ball, and he got beat all the time. And last year, I mean, what a huge change from freshman year to junior year. And the same thing will happen for these guys. We don't want to wait for 2 years to see him get developed. But these guys are going to get better as the year, especially with Ellis' skill set, his speed. If he can learn positioning, I'm telling you, he could have 3 more interceptions this year. Where he does a straight up Ringo, turns around and snatches the ball out of the air. He will do it when he learns to turn his body and look back for the ball. He has long and lanky arms. He will deflect some balls. He will get some interceptions because he has that speed to catch back up to the receiver. He has to be able to tackle, like you're saying, tackle all those times, or even take a penalty. Like if you're just beat, this is not the NFL. Tackle the guy.
But remember, we weren't rushing the passer, and Aguilar was getting rid of the ball very fast. And we were also playing zone for a lot of the game, and then we went to man. Again, we've got some experience. And Ty Simpson is not as good as Aguilar, I'll tell you that much. I've watched them both. Aguilar is a lot better than Ty Simpson.
He's a gunslinger.
Kirby built up Ty Simpson for a reason. He wants his defense ready for that guy, but he's not the quarterback. He reminds me of the quarterbacks that played for Notre Dame. In fact, the recent Notre Dame quarterback this season, I think his name's Carr.
Okay.
He's a fast-foot kind of guy that just can't be patient and won't be a drop-back guy in the NFL, never will probably play in the NFL. I don't see Ty Simpson being that kind of guy either. He just wants to take off. He's not patient. And he probably doesn't read routes very well. I don't think the defenses they played with Wisconsin and Florida State, their secondaries are that good that they flushed him out of the pocket on coverage sacks or coverage opportunity sacks. I just think the guy's got a little bit of anxiety in the pocket. It's going to be even on a fever pitch in Athens, by the way, because the crowd is going to be loud, and he's going to have some problems. Alabama is way susceptible to jumping off sides and procedure issues. So it's going to home field advantage is going to be a big deal, and it's going to rattle Ty Simpson, I think.
Good. And that's, like I said, Curry said before in the past, we've had big teams come to town like, we need that 12th man. I know that's Texas A&M thing, but that fan base can win you a game. When you're 120 plus, 100 decibels plus,
Right.
that will win a game for sure.
Getting back to the defense, our sacks have all come from, I think everyone but one has come from our linebackers.
Yeah.
And so Schumann, we've always been a way to blitz with our linebackers, and I will probably do the same thing again in a man-to-man package. And we usually don't blitz when it's zone because that's when you're most vulnerable. And it gets more vulnerable when you send linebackers out of the zone.
So I'm glad you brought that up. That's something I was thinking about. And I could be completely wrong, and I probably am because I'm just an old skeezy couch quarterback.
No disclaimers on this show.
I haven't seen, and like I said, I could be wrong, a cornerback blitz. That's something that we have done well with the nickel and the outside cornerbacks coming in. Bullard was a
Javon Bullard,
yeah, Bullard was
living off of that.
Did that, and so has Everett done a really good job last year. He is the Texas killer.
He was great.
Yeah, so we haven't really seen that yet. Do we see that
Probably
this Saturday?
Probably.
Is it Everett again, or do they trust one of the young guys to do it?
I don't know.
I would trust Everett to do it. I think he knows how to tackle the guy. He's going to hit him in the midsection, not as up tall. Because if one of these other quarterbacks comes up high, he's just going to shrug him off and be done with it. But so, do you think this defense can be nasty on Saturday? That's what I want Nate Junkyard, and I'm saying this for our boys there, our boys out there, who played on this team, the Junkyard Dogs teams. Can they be nasty on Saturday?
I'll say this much. I believe Tennessee's offense is a lot better than Alabama's offense.
Okay.
So that gives us an edge to at least possibly be nastier because I think the offense that we'll be playing against is less than what we've seen already. The standard being Tennessee had a great offense. And we did fine. A few breakdowns, but that game, if we didn't have those 3 breakdowns in the secondary, that game's a blowout, if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
So Alabama's probably going to get a couple. You got to believe they're going to break free on 1 or 2 plays, but not 4. And Tennessee, we saw them break free for 4 or 5. So I just like our chances, and I think our defense is probably going to make a mark, and they probably need to make a statement, and they probably want to have retribution, and they're probably ready to show out again and say that was a misnomer. That just happened because, we got some new guys in the secondary. That's not who we are, and I believe the defense is up to task. And the defensive line, I believe, is pretty darn good. I'm pleasantly surprised with our defensive front.
Yeah, so Ty Simpson, that is DeBoer's guy. That's honestly who he wanted to play last year. And the rumor mill was all out there that if he would have played him last year, half that team would have walked out. So he had to play Milroe last year, which once again he ran more than he wanted to throw, which is not his that's not the Boer's system, but it worked against us because we just always struggle with running quarterbacks. Which, not to jump ahead to another game, but we got games coming up, guys, where we have some running quarterbacks out there that we're gonna have to continue with. Auburn. Just let you know.
Guy named Haynes King, by the way.
And that guy, too. If he can survive it to the end of the season, those are going to be some tough games for us.
We got a lot of film on him, so we won't go there yet, but we got a lot of film on him. Maybe we'll figure it out.
So my point will be is this is the guy he's going to live by and die by. I don't think he wants to run him like Milroe did, but you say he wants to get out of the pocket. He's not as fast.
His own volition.
If he gets out of the pocket, he's getting smashed, right?
It's pretty quick.
And he's not going to get up. He's not going to get 20 yards like Milroe did. He's going to get 7 yards.
Right.
Which is still good. 7 yards every down, you win. You touch that, right? But I guess my mindset is that he's not going to be able to do the things that Milroe did to beat us. We don't have to worry about him running to beat us.
You know, last year a lot of people they'll probably forget that Akil Williams was playing hurt. He still had a bad wheel. He had a bad ankle. He had one of the edges, and Chambliss was the other edge. And Chambliss is not a 4'6" guy, so we kind of were set up to be treated that way by Milroe. I mean, they knew where we were the weakest, and they attacked it, and they were very successful. Besides that, Milroe runs like a 4'4", 4'5".
Yeah.
I mean, that's blazing speed.
If their leading rusher is Simpson, we win the game by 20 points. And we're being honest, right? That's fine. He can run for 60 yards. And that's even with 2 sacks. Fine. We're winning the game because that means the running backs didn't do anything. And that he's running for his life and not passing the ball. So
I think we have a better chance to win by double digits than Alabama has a better chance to win the game.
So the point spread has changed. Like, it has jumped around.
2.5 now.
Yeah, so it's 2
or 3.
Yeah, so it's been from 4.5 to 3.5
6
to
and a
3 to, I mean, it has gone all over. That's all based. I'm not a big better guy.
And that's just based on whose money's.
Yeah, who's going to. But do we really mean they really think that it's that close? Like, it is, or is it 2.5? That means honestly they think Alabama's better than us because you get 3 points just for being at home. So they think Alabama's actually better than us. Should that be an insult that we should take to heart and use that as motivation again?
I'm sure the players are ready for this game.
Do we need it motivation? That's weird to say? Like, these guys should not need motivation to win this game. They should be willing to win every game. Right? So your prediction, John. Do you have a prediction?
Yeah, I think we win by double digits. I was thinking more along the lines of 31 to 21, something like that.
Y'all see how I'm the one drinking all by myself, right? Y'all see that, right? Just a heads up for everybody out there.
I mean,
It's really good. It's not be as good this time as it's been in the past, but John's usually hanging out with me doing this. But it's okay. It's gone. I took care of it.
I don't see Alabama scoring as many points, even close to what they have. I look back over some of the games they had against quality opponents, and they have a hard time getting to 20 points against the Michigan and Florida State. And so the better the opponent, the less likely they are to score that many points. And remember, we're in Sanford Stadium, and we're going to have crowd noise. And we got a home field advantage, and they're on the road, and they've already lost one game. I don't care what you say. There's some doubt in their minds coming to Athens because they're not the powerhouse they once were. I don't care who says it and how insulted we've become. They're not the Alabama Bowl.
But I'm still in that thing of until you beat them.
Well, yeah. Okay.
I mean, until we beat them.
That's why we're going to play Saturday.
That's right. And that's just kind of how I am. I'm like, I keep hearing, until we beat them. Why is it so hard to beat this team? Even when they've been less than championship status, we still struggle with that. And I don't, people out there with their conspiracy theory, Kirby's still an Alabama guy, and he doesn't push hard on them. That's bull honky.
Why does a 45-year-old father beat his 17 or 16-year-old son, who's all county in basketball, when they go on the court? Why does a 40 or 45-year-old father beat his son? Because the son still has respect for the father, believes the father is what got him there. Alabama is the standard, gold standard, and has been. There's somewhat that mutual respect for them, but also the new young son still hasn't realized I'm as good as my dad, if not better. I'm actually better. And so there's that kind of blending of why does the old father still beat this young son who has all the talent? He just doesn't. He just hasn't done it yet. Well, I think this is it. I think we're going to be okay.
That's good. So, do you think so let's just say, I'm just going to go from kickoff, okay? We win the toss. Do we take the ball or do we defer? What do you think he does?
That's a good question.
Because the mindset is, my thought process is this right here. Is it important for us to score first to keep that crowd in the game?
I think we give
does
Alabama.
that even
I think
matter?
we give Alabama the ball first.
I agree. I mean, I think it's so too.
I think knowing Kirby is we want to play defense first,
Okay. And
We
stop
want-
them
we want-
and then score.
and we want to reverse the field and get the field flipped. We want to flip the field, and then we get the ball in the second half, and we want to finish strong in the first half. I think we give them the ball.
Do you think if we get a 10-point lead, the game is over?
No. No, I don't.
I mean, in the sense of if we are running like, let's say it is first possession, we stop them, they go, 7 plays and out. I'm not sure it's even physically possible, whatever, right? Out and right, and then we come in, we kick a field goal. They get the ball again, they do a few whatever, they punt, we score 7. So now it's 10-0. We've scored on 2 back-to-back. I know the game's long, but in that kind of progression, do you think, hey, we're on rhythm? We got the crowd behind us. We just keep pushing, doing what we don't lay back. We just keep doing what we're doing, and then it's all at that. It's going to be 20-point win for the Dogs. I still think it happened. Not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying that's very possible where we get a 10-point lead at some point, and then the brakes just fall off of Alabama.
No,
and then
I go
we
back.
just keep put the foot on the throat.
I
and
go
don't stop.
back to where we first started this conversation in this kind of volley here tonight, that the Dogs are looking for atonement, and I really believe it's time to collect the markers. It's our time. It's our time going forward. The old guy, the old school guy is gone. He's retired, and it's our time to continue on what Kirby has built over the last 9 years. It's our time going forward for the next 10 years. I think that's what I see going forward.
I'm with you, man. I hope it's the case. I'm on that fence of, I really, honestly, there's that law of averages, right? It just scares me.
Well,
But also, I do not want.
it's not Nick Saban, by the way, that's coaching Alabama. So
I know.
let's.
But it wasn't them last year. They still won.
But
I guess my mind says I
understand,
don't
but
want.
that was still his players
Yeah.
in his house, by the way, with him in the stands.
I don't want our streak of home wins to fall to Alabama. I
agree with you. I agree.
I'd
with you.
rather
I
it happen
agree
to
with
Kentucky. I'd rather Kentucky come in next
you.
week.
No, stop it.
I mean,
That's not going to happen.
I mean, I just don't want.
I heard something recently coming in here. We only have 2 more road games that are really of maybe some impact.
I mean, a
And
true
that's
road game.
road games, which is Mississippi State and Auburn. So, in other words, we put this win in the win column Saturday. We've got a nice way to move forward. You've seen the Ole Miss quarterback is hurt.
But the guy they got's been off.
The other guys,
He's been off the chain, man.
but regardless, playing in the Dogs' house is a whole different ballgame for every quarterback
agree.
that comes there. We've
I
seen
agree.
number 1 team Tennessee come in there with Hayden Hooker, and we saw that team fall victim and fall apart before our crowd.
And that same thing here with Ole Miss came
Right.
into town
And
with the other
so,
guys dunking on us in the sidelines. And what
Sanford
happened?
Stadium is a special place,
Yeah.
and it better be special Saturday, and the fans better be bringing it.
Yeah, and we were there watching that game together. But we watched the
Right.
Ole Miss game, and it was 14-14. We're like, what's going on? And after that, it was done. We ran over Ole Miss like it was nobody's tomorrow, and they didn't look back, which is great. So, I'm not gonna give a prediction of the game because honestly, I just want to win.
Yeah.
1 point. That's all I care about.
You know?
1 point. But I just until you can beat Alabama, just prove it to me. Just prove it to me. You can beat Alabama. That it's not a mental thing, and just beat them. Simple as that.
Just be glad we had the bye week, only because we had such an emotional win at Tennessee. Usually that is hard to come back from the next week, the
Yeah.
very next week against another quality opponent. And usually you're not able to match that high pitch intensity that
agree.
you did in the emotional win the previous week. So the bye week actually came at a perfect time after what happened up in Tennessee and Knoxville. Okay, we got some other games going on there. I know we got LSU and Ole Miss, and we've got Penn State and Oregon. How do you like all that big football?
So, we're really going to find out about Oregon and Penn State. I know it's at Penn State,
Right.
whiteout and all the jazz
Right.
that goes.
Can Franklin win a big one?
I've never been a fan of Penn. I've watched them over the years. They are an anemic offense. They've always been a good
Yeah.
defense,
You're right.
but they're not going to score 30 points on
He's
them,
not a flashy offensive guy.
which is fine. That wins you games, but that also is why they've lost games. All the tough games they've lost, the tough games throughout the years. So if they can't put up, if their defense is legit, if they hold Oregon to 20 less points, they'll win the game. But I think if Oregon comes in and scores 28 to 30 points, then Oregon's got it because Penn State cannot score that many points. They just can't. So we'll find out who those two teams are because neither one have played anybody all year long. Penn State has played nobody all year long, which may be a good thing. They've rested up and they're all healthy and learn all their plays and all the jazz and whatever it may be. I'm actually going to take. I'm taking Ole Miss. I am not impressed. I've never been impressed with
LSU.
Kelly. I don't think Kelly's a great. People know he's a great coach. I've never seen it. I've not seen Kelly be a good coach in the big games. I don't think he's
not
an
a
SEC
Les Miles.
coach.
He's not a
Yeah.
Nick Saban. Certainly LSU has had some really wonderful coaches. Even Ed Orgeron, as crazy of a dialect that he had somewhat of a magic bag there. That team played at an unbelievable high success rate. And I don't think LSU has as good athletes as people think they have right now.
The defense is better, which is good for them, right? But I think they still lose up to Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss goes there and still beats
At
them.
Ole Miss, that's right. At Ole
I think it's
Miss.
going to happen. I'm sorry.
And Lane Kiffin's something else. You got to admit. I'm glad we got them at our house this year.
Yeah. He's become a really good head coach. All right, bud. So
we're closing it down.
Let's get it. So here,
Good luck.
to the Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs, bud.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Go Dogs.